Bezrat Hashem. So this class today about Maaser. Netinat Maaser. How to give Maaser. We all know, Aser v'shishit asher. If you give Maaser, you become rich. But many people ask, but we give Maaser and it's not happening. So something is wrong somewhere, right? So let's see how is the mitzvah supposed to be, and then each one would tell himself, am I doing it the right way or not? Okay? Let me tell you something else. There's another mitzvah that if you do it, you become very rich. Sandak. Sandak.
Oh, sandak.
Like Brit Milah.
Yes.
And you know the sandak, right? It says, Nechshav lo kemakriv ketoret. And you know that by ketoret, the Kohanim, they wouldn't have more than one chance. A Kohen that got the zchut to bring a ketoret, they don't give him more than once. Why? Because he becomes rich. Guarantee. So they want to give the chance to everybody to become rich. So if you did it once in your life, that's it. You don't get ketoret anymore. Okay? So people ask, one second. Not everybody that did sandak became rich. The question was asked to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. They asked him, how come people that do ketoret, not everybody become rich? Some yes, some no, a lot not. Sandak. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said, you know why? Because not only has to see sandak, he has to do bracha al hakos. So people that get to this sit sandak, they don't do bracha al hakos. If you look at the videos of Rav Vadia Yosef, always he would be sandak and do bracha al hakos. So then when you give the bracha al hakos, you give the blessing over wine, right, to somebody else, you took away from the mitzvah of the other one. So a lot of people don't become rich. So it means there is segulot in the mitzvah, but you have to do it the right way. So tonight we're here for Maaser. What does the Torah and Chachamim teach us about this mitzvah to become rich, and what are you supposed to do exactly? So let's start step by step. I know that a lot of you over here have a lot of questions. Like, can pay my Jewish school, my rent, my shul donation, buying books, buying tefillin. There's a lot of, I'm sure that the list is even bigger, right? But let's try to understand first, and then we'll let you time to ask questions. At the end, you can ask as many questions as you want, Bezrat Hashem, okay? So let's try to understand first the mitzvah. In the Torah, it says the following pasuk. Aser te'aser et kol ma'asar tevuatecha. Aser te'aser et kol tevuat zaracha. What is the Torah speaking about? It's Maaser. But about what? Tevuat zaracha. The crop of your land. So if you have wheat, if you have apples, if you have potatoes, whatever you have coming out of the land, the Torah says, Aser te'aser. So the Gemara is learning, Maaser mina Torah is only something which coming from the land. So what about money? Why do we give Maaser for money? Comes Tosfot, the grandchildren of Rashi, and they say, there's one key word in this pasuk. The word is kol. Aser te'aser et kol. Kol ribui. It's coming to add something. What is it coming to add? Kol ze maaser ksafim. From this pasuk, we also learn that you have to give 10% what you earn in money, not only crop from the land. Today, who has crop? Only farmers. How many farmers do you know? Most of people today to do business. And people get salaries. So, says Tosfot, the mitzvah of the Torah applies to these two. The Gemara is teaching us, Bechanuni na bazot. Come test me. Hashem is telling you, come test me. On what is this pasuk said? Was this pasuk said? When they came back to Israel after 70 years of galut in Babel. There were 70 years in Babylon. They were in galut. They came back to Israel. The king of Persia, Babel became Persia. Paras umadai. In the beginning it was Babel. Then Babylon was conquered by Melech Paras umadai. Vayi bimei Achashverosh, hu Achashverosh, Amolech Moed v'Akush, hu haya Melech Paras umadai. So now, the king was named Koresh. Koresh is telling the Jews, after 70 years, if you go back to Israel, I pay the construction, the rebuilding of Bet HaMikdash. I give you the money to rebuild your Bet HaMikdash. Ezra HaSofer, Ezra HaSofer started to gather the Jews. Who wants to come to Israel? A lot of Jews says, no, תעזוב אותנו עכשיו, we're okay, that's it, we're settled over here, our kids go to college, our kids go to university, we have our business. Out of all the Jews that were there, only 40,000 Jews agreed to come back to Israel. It wasn't enough. It's maybe you're talking about maybe 10%. Everybody stayed in Bavel.
So why only killed the Temanim?
Huh? Because the Temanim were on the way back. When he came back from Israel, they were next to Israel. From Babylon, it's a big route, but from Teman to Israel, it's a big small route. They didn't want to come. So, Bekitzu, somebody told me today a mishpat, and now when I came here, I was thinking about it. Hey, it connects to this. Somebody told me today, he's a doctor. He told me, le'avdil, it's easier to build a hospital than to maintain it. A hospital you can build. Few $1 million, you build a hospital. But you know what's more expensive? The maintenance. It was easy to Koresh to give the money to rebuild Bet HaMikdash, but we need maintenance. Korbanot. Pay the Kohanim. There's a lot of things. Bedek HaBayit.
40,000 people not enough.
Yeah. So the Navi, Malachi, which is really Ezra HaSofer, says, Aviu et kol ha-maaser. Please, people, you came to Israel. Bring us the Maaser. Give us your Maaser. And I promise you, ubechanuni na bazot. Hashem is telling you, if you give your Maaser, you're going to become rich. That's what the Pasuk is speaking about. The Pasuk is speaking about giving to Maaser to Bet HaMikdash. Okay?
Everybody used to do the Maaser.
Exactly. Why? Bedek HaBayit. Because you have to fix the walls, you have to fix the Mizbeach, you have to pay the Kohanim. There's a lot of maintenance in Bet HaMikdash. So Bikshu, so they made a kuppah and people used to give. It's like if we compare Bet HaKnesset. Bet HaKnesset, it's very beautiful to build Bet HaKnesset, but there's maintenance. There's a lot of maintenance Bet HaKnesset. So Bechanuni Abazot. Okay, we'll get there. So now, okay, the Maaser that we give, rule number 1. Maaser cannot pay something that you have obligation to pay from your pocket. This is rule number 1. Maaser cannot pay something that you have to pay from your pocket. So let me give you an example. I'll give you an example, okay? You come to Bet HaKnesset, and they tell you have to pay membership, okay? You go up to Sefer Torah, you want to give a donation, okay? Now, to pay membership, to be le'avdil, a member in a club, you cannot be a member if you don't pay. So it's an obligation. You cannot say, I'm going to pay this for Maaser. Something which is obligation cannot be used from Kesef Maaser. Why? Where does the Maaser go to? Aniyim. It goes to poor people. So Maaser primarily has to support poor people. Who's poor people? People that cannot finish the month. Cannot pay the whole expense of their house. They have children. They cannot pay the expenses, right? Almanot, Yetumim, Aniyim. Whoever is begeder ani, whoever is considered like poor, right? The Maaser has to go to these people. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
One rabbi explained to me that you go into the Torah, you have a membership in the synagogue, you're enjoying from the membership. So it's not massive.
Okay, we're gonna get there. Yeah, I'm gonna speak about Aliyah Torah. Yes. We're gonna speak about it. We're going to speak about this, okay? So first of all, Maaser is to go to Anim. Now, but a person can make Tnai. אתה יכול לעשות תנאי. איזה תנאי? I want to use my Maaser not only to Anim. I'm going to help poor people. I want to use it to do mitzvot, which I don't have to, which I don't have an obligation. For example, I know a synagogue, they give out prizes for kids learning Mishnayot. Avot ubanim. Motzei Shabbat. Now the kids, they come and they start learning. There's more limud Torah. I didn't have to give for that. It's not my obligation. But I want to have להגדיל Torah או להדירה. I want to promote Torah learning, right? So I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to use my Maaser to give prizes to those kids. So I'm donating $1,000 and I want the synagogue to buy prizes for those kids. You can use the Maaser for that. Because that was not an obligation from you. You wanted to promote a mitzvah. You wanted to promote Torah. This is called, you can use the kesef Maaser. But, Rav Ovadia Yosef Omer, if you didn't know about that, you didn't know. אתה חשבת, you thought, Maaser is purely for poor people. And you always gave to poor people that you know, families that you know, people that you know, right? And somebody's telling you that. אומר רב עובדיה יוסף, צריך לעשות התרת נדרים. You need to do התרת נדרים בפני 3 אנשים, in front of 3 people. I didn't know this halakha. Till now I gave only to poor people, and I want to use my maaser for mitzvot that I don't have to do, but I want to promote Torah, I want to promote a lot of good things, mitzvot. So then after atarat nedarim, you'll be able to give to both. If you always gave to both, continue. And I don't say atarat nedarim. And we're going to give examples. I'm going to give specific.
If you consider that both of them was maaser.
Both of them maaser, continue.
That's my intention.
That's it. If your intention was always both maaser, you continue to give maaser. Okay? Now, this is number 2. So, now, the Bet Yosef, here is where it becomes complicated. What does it mean complicated? It's not complicated, but here was where the complication begin. Okay? Here's the complication begin. Could you pay rent or mortgage from your maaser? Are you obligated to pay mortgage? Yes. You want to live in a house? It's an obligation. You rented a house? It's an obligation. Why do you want to use kesef shel aniyim? Poor people's money you want to use for your benefit? Lama. Right? You have to send your kids to Jewish school. You have to give Jewish education, okay? Or Jewish tutors. עכשיו, you say, I want to use maaser. You have to do it. זה חיוב שלך כמו אבא. You have a father. You have a father. ושיננתם לבניך. You have to teach your children. Now you want to use כסף של העניים for your children? לא. So all these things, rent, mortgage, Jewish school, tutoring, shul donation, buying books, buying tefillin, stock market after. You can stock market will leave for the end. All these things, normally, according to many opinions, you cannot buy from maaser. But here comes a turning point. The Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, 500 years ago, the author, Mechaber HaShulchan Aruch, the one who wrote the Shulchan Aruch, he has a book of responsa, Shalot V'Tshuvot, Avkat Rochel. And in this book, in Siman Gimel, he writes, all your expenses can be deducted from maaser. All your expenses can be deducted from maaser. Which means, if I translate this, your mortgage, your rent, electricity, FPL, your water bill, you deducted from maaser. You buy furniture, reitim labayit, deducted from maaser. Carpet, maaser. You can do everything. מה יישאר בסוף למעשר? לא יישאר כלום. Is there a chiyuv to give maaser? No. The chiyuv to give maaser only if you made money. If you didn't make money, לא תיתן maaser. כך אומר הבית יוסף. The problem with this is the Bet Yosef, the signature at the end of this responsa, the signature, is called Rabbi Taryush. מי זה Rabbi Taryush? So the Shach says, one of the commentators, Shulchan Aruch אומר, זה לא הבית יוסף כתב את זה. Bet Yosef didn't write this. It's a rabbi that he thinks that he heard it from the Bet Yosef, he wrote it. So אומר זה בטל. So this halakha is not existent, and you cannot take off your personal expenses for maaser. רב עובדיה, הניחה ודעת חלק ג', הוא אומר שאפשר לסמוך על זה. You can count on it because other rabbis did say that the Bet Yosef wrote this thing. So coming back to this, what can be included Maaser? I cannot include obligations, but I can include my personal expenses. Now, the poskim Ashkenazim, Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Shevet HaLevi, Rav Wozner, Rav Shmuel Wozner, okay? The poskim Ashkenazim say, hey, if you do this, people are not going to give Maaser. Everybody is going to buy everything they need. They're going to buy cars, houses, furniture, clothes, go to restaurants. בסוף אף אחד לא ייתן מעשר. So they say, you have to be fair. What does it mean fair? חצי חצי. Use some from the מעשר and use some from personal. ועוד פעם, and they say, and depending on the person's possibilities. If you have a possibility, do not use Maaser to pay FPL, water bill, the city bill. Don't pay this. Pay it from your money. Why? What's Maaser? Maaser is 10%, נכון? 10%. How much you left with? 90%. From 90%, אתה לא יכול לשלם, you cannot pay your bill, electricity bill, your water bill, your city bill, all this. Okay? But עוד פעם, the Bet Yosef, no. You can tell all your expenses. We're going to go more into detail soon. But just you should know, there's two opinions how to calculate Maaser. The difference is, when you open books, you'll see different opinions. One say, hey, you cannot pay your mortgage with Maaser. Another book says, yes, you can pay your mortgage with Maaser. Ma Hevdel? The Bet Yosef. According to the Bet Yosef, which Rav Ovadia says, he confirms that this is the halakha, you could. So a person could deduct his rent or his mortgage, right? And his house expenses from Maaser. But it's not finished there. עוד לא. What's Maaser? מה שאתה עושה בביזנס. What are you doing business, נכון? What are you doing business? You're gaining money and you're giving Maaser. Say the poskim, according to Bet Yosef, you can deduct your business expenses. What's business expenses? You have to pay electricity. איך אתה רוצה שיכנסו לאופיס שלך בלי electricity? Anybody's going to walk to your office without electricity? You have to pay all the paper. You have to you have a printer, נכון? You have to pay a computer. אתה צריך לשלוח emails. You have to send emails. אתה צריך לקומפיוטר טוב, כן? You have all the expenses of the office you can include in מעשר. לפי הבית יוסף. According to the Bet Yosef. So not only the house personal expenses, your business expenses. Okay.
And then from the net you can also deduct the houses.
Okay, let's see. Now the list, now it becomes big. So listen what the Bet Yosef Omer. Listen carefully. Now you would know if you give Maaser the right way. Omer Bet Yosef. If you give a penny more than 10%, you have to give 10%, נכון? You have to give 10%. According to Gaon Mivilna, you have to give 20% Maaser. Why? Aser, teaser, 10, 20. Okay, we're not going with the Gaon Mivilna Shita, we're going to Sfaradim 10%, נכון? Omer Bet Yosef, if you give a penny more than 10%, or a penny less than 10%, lo asita את המצווה.
If you put a penny more?
If you put a penny more, penny, שמת במקום $100, 1001, לא עשית מעשר. בית יוסף. So he told us you can take off your house expense. He told us you can take off your business expense. But he's telling us don't give a penny more. עכשיו נגיע לזה. איך אפשר? Now you're going to understand that. רגע. So now you want to have the maaser, you want to have the mitzvah maaser, נכון? You want to be able to become rich, נכון? תקנה מחברת, buy yourself a notebook, make yourself 4 columns. 4 שורות. Income, how much money you got in, how much money you made. Expenses, right? Expenses means house expenses and business expenses. Whatever you have expenses. Make it. מה זה? רגע, עוד לא הגענו שמה. We're going to get there. סקול של ילדים זה בגדר אחר. You have to calculate how much tzedakah you gave. How much tzedakah you gave? רגע, how much tzedakah you gave? And at the end, how much maaser you have to give. Which means, let me tell you an example. You don't have to sit with a notebook day by day. לא צריך. You don't have to have a notebook every day. You know why? כי לפעמים בביזנס אתה מרוויח ולפעמים אתה מפסיד. Let's say stock market. Okay? You have shares in the stock market. You, in the stock market, you eat breakfast, you eat a sandwich, פתאום אתה שומע את הקומפיוטר, דינג דינג, תסתכל. $100,000 you just made. השתבח שמו. You run to בית הכנסת, I give $10,000. חוזר הביתה, דינג דינג, what? 150 you lost. וואו, ריבונו של עולם, I just went to בית הכנסת. אז אתה כבר רשמת, you wrote 10,000, ועכשיו אתה בדיפיסיט. אל תרשום את זה, don't write it one by one. אומר החפץ חיים. החפץ חיים אומר, פעם בשנה. איך פעם בשנה? או פעם ב6 חודשים. Once a year, or once every 6 months, you have your book, and you write. What does it mean? You know how much you put into your business. You have to know, you have an accountant. He told you put in the business this 6 months, $50,000. But 1 second, he's telling you know how much we made? Baruch Hashem, we made $100,000. Okay? So now you make the cheshbon. You put income $100,000, right? Expenses 50, right? And then you write how much tzedakah you give. Oh, I bet Knesset this year I give this. This you don't have to do it every day. Why? Because you have to wait. You have to wait. How much you make, how much you lose. How much you make, how much you lose. And then at the end of 6 months, at the end of a year, you make the cheshbon. From here says the Chafetz Chaim, Aser, Ta'aser, et kol tevrat zaracha, shana, shana. You must pay your Maaser at the end of the year, Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, you have to pay your Maaser. So if you promise בית הכנסת, הבטחת בית הכנסת תרומה, you have to pay right away. אבל יש לך שנה, אל תאחר יותר משנה. means ראש שנה comes, אל תחכה שנה, don't wait for a year. Don't wait for a year to pay it. But להגיד לך, שאתה רוצה לעשות את המצווה, your calculation of how much I made, how much you think, it's 1 year, not more. שנה. עכשיו, אם עברת, we didn't get to tzedakah. We are now talking about maaser, not tzedakah. We're going to teach
tzedakah, maaser,
two different things. Now,
פעם הייתי חושב על הצדקות, כל הזמן מחשב כמה וזה, ואז הגעתי למסקנה, לא, זורם, איפה לא מחשב.
אוקיי, אבל יש לך בעיה עם בית יוסף. אם נתת פני יותר, לא עשית מעשה. רגע, נגיע גם שם, we're gonna get there. 20, okay, we're gonna get, and if you give 20% plus a cent, לא יצאת. רגע, we're gonna get there. There is a way to do that. Okay, so now we get more or less. לא. Just the opposite. 1 second. This is maaser of your income, of what you make money. Okay? This is a maaser. We're going to see soon in details, but I want to teach you something. Now, besides maaser, there's a second mitzvah we have. Tzedakah. Where does tzedakah start? 11%. So I have to know exactly what's my maaser, and after maaser, I give tzedakah. Yeah, 2 separate things. Oh, חזק. זה ישר. אז עכשיו, now, 1 second. Now, רגע.
לא תשמעו, לא תדעו. אין עניין שאומר הברכה סמויה במה שנסתר בנהל ואסור לבן אדם מה שסמוי ואסור לבן אדם לספור את הכסף כל הזמן.
נכון, לא תספור.
כמה עשיתי?
אבל תספור כמה אתה צריך לתת.
אני כמו זה, כמו שאומר לך, לא בודק. פעם שנה בא לי, אמר חשבון אמר לי, אבל עוד יודעים.
Okay, so you
אבל לא
know.
כל יום נכנסים לטיפ.
That's what I said, not every day. Once a year you do that. אז רגע, בוא נתחיל עם צדקה, בוא נתחיל עם מצוות צדקה. Let's start with מצוות צדקה.
פעם בעיר, אפילו פעם בחודש התפססו לי. או שאני עושה כל יום, עסוק בלבזבז לספור מה יש, או שאני זורם.
אוקיי,
מה אתה מעדיף?
אז בוא נזרום. Okay, let's explain. We're in the middle of explaining. So now 11% and on is tzedakah. How much? Is there a cap? כתוב, ככה כתוב. המבזבז באושה התקינו. There was a place of חכמים called אושה. באושה התקינו. The rabbis made a תקנה. המבזבז לא יבזבז יותר מחומש. You cannot give more than 20% total. So you give 10% maaser and 10% tzedakah. למה? שלא יצטרך לבריות. Because if you give too much, you're risking at the end to be need yourself. אומר רב חפץ חיים והפוסקים, אבל רגע, תלוי במה מדובר. Depends what we're talking about. There is a guy, ברוך השם נתן לו. You can give as much as you want. There's no, אפילו יותר מחומש, יכול יותר. But if there's a guy בינוני, לא יבזבז יותר מחומש. Not more than 20%. That's why this has to be calculated. But one second. Okay. Now that we say that maaser cannot be a penny more, right? What do you have to do? תעשה תנאי. Make a condition to yourself. אני נותן צדקות. I give צדקות now. Okay? מה אני עושה? I want my tzedakah up to 10% to be maaser. And when it reaches 10% exactly, צדקה. אז בתנאי הזה you covered yourself. אתה מבין?
מה זאת אומרת? המעשר זה
אתה,
ההוצאות.
exactly. Yes. לא הוצאות. המעשר שאני נותן לעניים, המעשר שאני מחלק, כן? הצדקות שאתה מחלק, the tzedakah that you give, I'm saying like this. Let's say this year I'm going to make $50,000, okay? And out of the 50,000, I have to give 5,000. I'm making it now with myself. After $5,000, whatever I give more, I don't want to count. Whatever I give more, שילך לצדקה. שילך לצדקה. שאפילו לא ספרת כמה, אפילו לא ספרת. So even if you didn't count. Okay. בטח קשה. אבל בחנונינה בזאת. That's why people say, מעשר, if I would win the lottery Super Bowl, כמה זה היה? כמה זה היה? $2 billion. How much is מעשר? 20 million? 200 million. Do you think a Jew, אתה יודע איזה ניסיון?
רבנו, הנט שלו זה ביליון, או 900, משהו.
אוקיי, אז ביליון. אז כמה? זה 1 million? 100 million? You know what it means to give one shot $100 million? אתה יודע איזה קשה זה? מה? אבל יש לך, you made billion. עשית ביליון. זה איפה יצר הרע תופס אותך. This is when יצר הרע catches you. כשאתה עושה סכומים קטנים, you give. Yeah. So that's why יעקב אבינו מה אמר? יעקב אבינו what he say? Hashem, don't test me to be rich. When you're rich, the יצר הרע grows bigger. When you're rich, you have all kinds of nisyonot, to give, not to give, maybe later, not now. And then you're going to start losing the... So, you have to give it at the end of the year. The year is finished. תעשה חשבון. It's better 6 months. Like this, it's the חשבון is...
Monthly? Can I do it monthly?
You can do it monthly, but depending on the business you do. So let's say, for example, let's say...
Another question, family, brothers, mothers...
Yes, they count as מעשר. ענייך וענייך קודמים. So עניי ביתך. So parents, brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, they come first. מעשר. If they need, you can give them for מעשר.
Just one question. You said about the expenses. You said the house expenses, the office expenses. What about taxes? Before taxes?
Why don't we get there? Again. Okay, so we get the idea. Let's put everything in recapitulation and then we continue. The idea is, you have to give 10% maaser and 10% tzedakah. The Maaser has to be exact. According to the Bet Yosef, Sephardi opinion at least, you can deduct your expenses. Right? What's expenses? Household. Food. How much food? Furniture. Your wife needs a maid. She needs somebody to clean the house. If not, there's children. This also counts. הוצאות הבית. Now, אמורים לא להגזים אבל. Don't abuse. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed, but don't abuse. Now, you can manage it one maid, you bring 3. Come on, you can have done it with 1. Why you bring 3? This is abuse. You understand? You can buy furniture, nice furniture. But you say, no, I saw something, $10,000 more. Why? You have nice furniture. Why you... Okay, don't abuse.
If you be able to do that you mean that you need to donate.
Okay, so give.
Yeah.
Give, okay? Now, this is one. Second thing we spoke about, make your chart every 6 months or every year. Make sure to make the cheshbon. How much you made money, how much you came into you, right? How much what were your expenses of the house and of the business, because business is also expense, right? How much tzedakah you gave, how much charity you gave, synagogue, mosdot, institution, how much you gave, and at the end of the day, how much you have to give. A total is maaser. Okay? Let me give you a case, interesting case. Halakha למעשה. מישהו חשמלאי, somebody is electrician. Went to visit somebody, נכנס הביתה, why? לא ידעתי, I didn't know. The guy is poor. All the walls, קרועים, all the chandeliers are falling, אין ברז מים שבור. לא ידעתי שהוא כזה עני. אומר לו, תשמע, תן לי כמה ימים, אני מסדר לך הכל. Give me a few days. התחיל להביא, הוא ב-construction, he's in construction, כן? חשמלאי, construction וזה. took him a week, he fixed the house, משהו יפה. decent, לא ארמון, decent. טוב, הלך לרב, אמר לו, אתה יודע מה עשיתי וזה, אמר לו, תגיד לי הרב, תגיד לי, כמה עולה כל הג'וב הזה שעשית? How much this job cost? כמה כל ה-renovation הזה? אמר לו $10,000, $10,000. עם כל החומרים, with the material and everything, I $10,000. So he told the rabbi, אתה יודע מה אני רוצה לעשות עכשיו? אני נתתי לו $10,000, כאילו. It's like I gave the poor man $10,000, כן? אז עכשיו, he wants to take off from here, from tzedakah, he wants to write $10,000. מה אתם אומרים? כן, עלה לו, מה? אם הוא היה עושה את העבודה למישהו אחר, if he would done to מישהו אחר, $10,000.
זה לא חובות אבודים.
אוקיי, אבל מה אתם אומרים? מה? אוקיי. Somebody in construction goes to a poor house man, he sees the situation, catastrophic, he says, I want to fix the house. He starts fixing the light, the water, the walls, painting, tiles, everything, from his money, חומרים, material and hand, עבודה, labor, okay? שאלו אותו, תגיד, כמה זה עלה לך כל הסיפור הזה? $10,000. בסדר. עכשיו הוא, this construction guy, הוא הולך לצ'ארט שלו, he's going to his chart, הוא כותב פה, I gave tzedakah $10,000. אז עכשיו, בסוף השנה, what he's going to do at the end of the year, whatever he made income, פחות $10,000. נשמע טוב? נשמע טוב. אני לא מסכים, תגיד למה?
למה? אני אסביר למה. כי העניין של להיאסר זה כספים.
אוקיי.
זה לא לתת כסף. הוא עשה מצווה.
אוקיי, אבל זה שווה כסף, לא? If he would do it for somebody else, it's $10,000, he would get $10,000.
אז רבנו זה לא עלה לו.
מה זה לא עלה? Boy, he was a week working there, זה $10,000, או material, מה?
Wait, but this is not...
זה קצת שחור לבן.
Whatever you want. מה זה?
זה לא שזה מרגיע, אבל זה נותן, זה אחרת.
Why?
הוא יכול לקבל $10,000. אני לא תשלם לי על העבודה.
אתה מתקרב, you getting close.
שילם לי על העבודה, ללכת למס הכנסה באמריקה, נגיד להם רבותיי, איך קוראים לזה? בן אדם שילם לי על העבודה הזאת, ואני תרם לי את הכסף, זה הכל.
אוקיי. So now,
זה מוכר לו במס הכנסה גם.
זה אתה מתקרב. You gave $10,000. איך נתת $10,000? מאיפה הבאת 10? Where'd you get $10,000? This thing costed $10,000. So if you would charge a client, you would charge $10,000 because there's material, there's labor. No, but the material doesn't cost $10,000. Material, labor.
If it's only materials, so it will be 10,000. Yes, you can deduct it. But if it's labor, meaning
Why?
if it's time.
Labor time is not. Time is money. For 1 week he didn't go to work. He had to fix this house.
This is
But the material is business expense.
Do the easiest way. The person is a person and you have a business. You go and did a job for him, he donated 10,000 for the guy paid the business, and that's it.
Okay, so let's do it b'kitzur. Let's not wait. You close, Avi, you close. But let me explain how it
The
works.
material is business expense.
Yeah, okay.
So if it's business
That's a
expense, you
deposit.
cannot use
It's
it.
not a business expense because you're getting money for it. When you go to a client and you tell him this job is $10,000, you included material inside.
Right.
You're not going to
Material-
include this.
the material is-
Material labor is included. But if he's telling you this job, if I do for somebody else $10,000, it's $10,000. Now listen to this. Halakha wise, halakha. If you gave $10,000 to this poor man, מאיפה הוצאת $10,000? מהכיס שלך. זאת אומרת שהיה לך $10,000. נתת מעשר על $10,000? Did you give מעשר on it? Oh, as 1 second. You're gonna write income $10,000. You have to write first income $10,000.
You already wrote it.
No, no, you didn't.
Better SNLF.
You gave him 10,000. You gave a job $10,000 to the ani, נכון? But it's like זה כמו that you put in your pocket $10,000. What did I do with it? I wanted to give it tzedakah to this ani. So I wrote over here, expense, tzedakah given $10,000. You know what's the difference? The difference now is you have to pay maaser. So you have to give on the $10,000, $1,000. So you owe maaser $1,000. Which means, if you wouldn't write it here, and you write it only over here, you are gaining, אתה מרוויח $1,000. עשית $1,000 על צדקה. Because to give $10,000 to somebody, you have to have $10,000. איך קנית את המטריאל? How did you buy material? No, the income is what is if he paid me.
שנייה. Income. You want all your income.
מה זה income?
What you get.
What you get.
If you do business,
On the first column, you write
if you work as an employee, you get from the
He didn't
employee.
wrote it.
Huh?
He said he didn't wrote it. He just give it. So
But that's right.
basically,
You
the
write.
10,000
You write all your income. You write your salary or you.
But over here there was the actual income. Somebody paid you?
No.
No.
No, the column of the income. Where you got the money from?
Oh, where'd you get the money from?
The column of the income. You didn't. The money
Right.
didn't come
So
from
if
the
you
bank.
write it here, what does it mean?
You already wrote it here. Why you have to?
What does it mean if you write it here?
That you have to pay for it.
That you have to give maaser for it.
Yes.
But if I wouldn't write it
Why
here,
you write 10,000? You already. Why you write your labor over there? 10,000 is you have income from other sources.
What if you already paid the master?
No, 10,000. Wait.
I'm speaking about this
The
deal.
10,000 is also include labor. What you write your labor over
Yes, for sure. Because
there? The labor
this
on the
job,
expense you write.
נכון, this job is worth $10,000. So you give it to the ani. Where did you have the money from? So means it like he paid you and you gave it to him back.
Okay.
So you have to give maaser. It's like he paid you $10,000 and you say, I don't want the money, I want to give it to you. So it's like you have to write.
Like I said, but in different ways.
Exactly.
You take 10,000 and give it to me.
Yes, that's it. And you have to pay maaser. You have to pay maaser. Let's go on because there's a lot of things I want. 9,000 בצדקה. 100,000? למה 100,000?
במקום 10,000, לכתוב שם 9 ובמעשר.
אבל זה כבר המהות. כי אתה אמרת שזה שווה 10. You said it's worth up.
שווה 10,000 במקום זה מעשר, ו9 צדקה.
לא, אבל אתה חייב לרשום את זה כמה.
I didn't understand the circle, but basically what I said is like you take the
You take the cash and you give it to him. So if you take the cash,
back in your thing,
you give the maaser.
put it back in your thing, and then you have to give from this 10,000 that you put back, you have to
Give $1,000 maaser.
1,000 and deduct the 10,000.
Exactly. חזק וברוך. יפה.
So
Let's
for
go
every
on.
10,000 that you give, you have to give 11,000. That's why.
טוב, one second. מעשר, let's continue.
מבזבזים פה משהו, $10,000 קיבל או לא קיבל?
קיבל.
אם הוא קיבל, אז בסדר, אז הוא חייב לשלם.
לא, the ani didn't give him the, no, in action, he didn't get. But to give, you have like to get. In order to give, you have to get.
נכון, אתה לא יכול לקחת...
Everything is virtual, it's virtual, but it's like you got.
10,000 כל עוד לא הכנסת אותם בהכנסה, תסתכל עליהם בתור 9 זיכוי, לא באמת 10.
$50 שעשיתי, $150 אני יש לי $10 ספיר, מי מזה, את המעשר.
אין בעיה, אבל אתה לא יכול להזדכות ב-10, אתה תזדכה רק ב-9.
By the way, if you give any $10,000 job for free, you have to give another $1,000. Basically, this 10,000 will cost you 11.
11, exactly.
That's what I said. And the best thing to do is to expand everybody that you do it virtually, whatever.
Virtual, yeah.
Give the 10, take them back, give them the job, and then you'll be right. I know
Okay, now let's go.
להכניס את זה בהכנסה
Rabbi,
בשביל לקבל זיכוי
Yes.
מלא.
just one quick thing, so I've been trying to calculate it, it's very hard, you know.
זה לא הצ'אט של מס הכנסה, אבל זה דאבל דיל, כאילו, זה כפול מס הכנסה.
למה על כל דבר כזה
Oh, so that's the discussion halakha. Could you give maaser on something you didn't gain yet? You say this year I'm going to make, according to my calculation, $100,000. I need to make, okay? So you say I want to give $10,000 before I make the money. Yanu advance cash.
I can tell you something, Rabbeinu, I did it in my life many times.
Okay, okay.
But I don't know if you allowed or not, but it's work.
So some authorities say לא אפשר לעשות את זה. אתה צריך לתת, you have to give from what you got, not from what you about to get. But it's possible.
No,
It's
but
possible.
Let's say you don't give a hand, but you give checks. You don't give a hand.
So what do you mean checks?
You give checks for what you think you're going to make. I said, you know, what I decide to give a place for the heck of it, 10,000. So give him $1,000 a month, okay?
Okay.
And you don't have. It's not that you have to give retroactive.
Yes.
ואם לא
It's
עשית?
ahead of time. You give
ואם לא
ahead.
עשית?
אם לא עשיתי, they check it. I don't call them and say don't pay.
מה זה צ'ק? הם לוקחים את הכסף.
בטח.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You're taking a risk.
אני שידעתי. כתוב בחנותיי.
אין בעיה, אבל עכשיו זו שאלה הלכתית. האם
כן.
זה תופס או לא תופס?
כן. אז יש כאלו some poskim hold it some people it doesn't hold. I wanted to, maaser, just so you should know, maaser is only from cash. Maaser is from cash. Let me give you two examples. What do you mean? Somebody got Yerusha. Somebody got inheritance, Yerusha. What did he get? No cash. He got a house worth $2 million. $2 million a house. צריך לתת מעשר? Does not have to give מעשר. Not a penny. Because אין cash. מעשר זה כספים. כספים. If you get something which is value, do not give maaser. Example, your son is about to get married. Your son is about to get married. So you say, you know my son, I want to give you, to start a good life, I want to give you $40,000. Comes the father-in-law, Omer, I want also $40,000. כמה עשה? 80. אבל מסכן, עכשיו הוא ישלם $8,000 מעשר. Oh. So how do you get around it? אתה אומר לו, I'm giving you $40,000. I want you to buy a house. I don't want you to have cash. I want you to buy a house. So this $40,000 is for a specific thing which is not cash. You find an ani in the supermarket. You find an ani. You give him $100 לכבוד שבת. אבל מה קרה? לא נתת לו 100. You gave him 90. Because he's going to have to give $10 מעשר. מה אתה אומר לו? I'm giving you $100. תקנה קניות לשבת. Buy food for Shabbat. I don't want you to have cash. I want you to buy food for Shabbat. So you're not giving him cash. You're giving him value.
איך אני יכול לדבר על פירות וגם היה לו 1,200 עגלים בנותן בשנה? איפה הכסף? אין כסף.
Oh, one second, זה מעשר בהמה. There's מעשר אדמה, מעשר בהמה, מעשר כספים. There's three מעשר.
That's why you don't know.
Okay? Let's go on. So when you give something which is not cash, you patu for maaser. Okay? There's no chiyuv to give maaser if you didn't get cash. If you have cash. I want to tell you a special case. You lend somebody money, okay? And he did bankruptcy. Pshitat regel. He lost all the money. He cannot pay you now. Okay? Says the Halakha, okay? You can count it as an expense. You can count it as an expense. So you had by him $10,000. עכשיו הוא אומר לך, I cannot pay you. Okay? For you, from the business, what is it from the business? An expense. So you write the loss in the business. It's an expense in the business.
You have to keep that in mind when you give it.
You write it.
Yeah, when you give it.
Oh, so some decisionaries say you have to keep it in mind. In case he doesn't pay me back, I want to count it as an expense. Some people say you don't have to. As it comes, hopefully he pays. And if he doesn't pay, you can count it as an expense. So we learned also, right? We learned also that maaser is only from money. Okay? Now let's go to another thing. Stock market. We said you calculate every 6 months to 1 year. Why? Maaser stocks, ole, up, down, up, down. Now, when it's up, you made 100,000. When it's down, you're down 50. So you really made 50. And then it's going up again, 25,000. Then it go. So the best thing is at the end of the year, you ask your accountant, how much you made this year? Tell me, because I need to give maaser. I want to give maaser. But don't forget, make it tnai. Make it tnai. Whatever is maaser, it's 10% exactly. Whatever is going to be extra from 10%, I want it to be tzedakah.
Even if you don't cash it, you keep it in the, you have to cash. If you don't have the cash, you have to cash.
Exactly. You're in the real estate business.
Yeah, you don't
So you buy a building, right?
You didn't sell it yet.
You didn't sell it yet, Nahon? Now, does it bring you income? The rent. Do people pay rent? Yeah.
Sometimes,
Nahon?
yes, sometimes.
Okay. So what do you do with... But normally they pay rent. Normally people pay rent. Okay, now, your mortgage, let's say, $10,000 a month. But from the income of the renters, you're 15,000. So what are you making a month? 5 extra. So at the end of the year, you have to pay maaser on the 5,000, on the $5,000 that you made extra. You're going to take the money and invest in another building. It doesn't make a difference. Maaser is on the 5,000 that you got every month. Right? You want to buy now another building. Okay. Now you bought a building, you make money. You bought the second building, shabur, broken, expenses, foundation, there's leaks of water. You bought it for 100,000. Now you have only expenses, right? This is a loss. But it doesn't take out from the first building that you're making money. But what do? You balance. So you made 50,000 with the first building, and you lost 20,000 in the second building, right? So how much maaser you have to give? 30. On 30. But be'ota shana, in the same year. Because if you bought the first building in the first year and the second building in the second year, you cannot deduct one from the other. They have to be in the same year. You bought 2 buildings, one is gaining, one is losing. 1 on 1. You cover. Yes. ראש השנה, מראשית השנה עד אחרית שנה. ראש השנה תור השנה. ראש השנה זה המעשר של בהמה. You have to give all the מעשרות. All the מעשרות have to be paid before ראש השנה. So if you bought in the same year, you can count one, you can balance 1 on 1. If it's 2 separate years, no, one is one and the other one is the other.
What happens if you don't have, you go into difficulty ופתאום אתה נתקע ועשיתי צדקה בבית כנסת ל10,000?
Okay, so then your expenses. So you made so much, you had so much expenses, you're going to pay less maaser. Because you have expenses. You gave tzedakah also, right?
I need to pay it.
Okay, what? The person
I
cannot...
don't have it for my lul
תשרי to אלול, נכון?
So it's going to be it's rollover. It's rollover, but
Shul allowed to take double?
yeah, no. You're not allowed to take interest. You cannot take interest, but you can. Chafetz Chaim Omer lechatchila. If you want to do the mitzvah lechatchila, Rosh Hashanah, 1 year is the like the cap. Okay. Now, if you can't, like you say, a person can't, he's going to roll it over as a chov. Say a chov. So it's going to go the second year. But the lechatchila to begin with.
If you invest in crypto and you lock up your crypto, you get gains.
Okay.
The problem with the crypto is you can have crazy, it's called staking. You can get a lot of gains. The problem is it could go up a lot. At the end of the year, you can up a lot, but it could happen that it could crash.
Okay.
You're locked. When you stake, you cannot take out the
You lock for how long?
let's say you lock it up for 3 years. Fine.
Okay, so year per year.
But you can't take it out per year.
What? No, you just count it. First year, you made $100,000. So you write, I have to give Maaser $10,000. Second year, there's a loss.
But it doesn't have the
But
money.
he didn't put the money,
It
Rabbi.
doesn't
Huh?
have the money.
He
You
didn't
cannot
put
take
the
the money.
money.
Yeah, it goes like stock market.
Different example. In business,
אבי,
investing in
חיים שנשקיע בשאלה ברשותך. I want to understand it regarding the stocks. If, let's say as an example, I'm up right now, okay, 100,000. By the end of the year, I'm down 50,000. By the end of the year, let's say on the Lul calendar, okay, you up, let's say $100, just for the example to make it easier, okay?
Okay.
Now, you tell me that we need to pay $10 of the $100, right? Maaser.
Right.
But I didn't pull the money, I still leave it in, so it can go up after the...
Yeah, it doesn't make a
it can go
difference.
down.
That's your investment.
No, but I didn't stop the investment.
Yeah, you owe $10 to Maaser. So now you're rolling on $100, but you gave $10. So really what you invested for the new year, for the next year, $90.
But this investment, it's up.
Yeah, it's up. It's inside. It's locked. It's locked. But this year, how much you made?
But basically you didn't get anything, so if you want to put on the...
You don't have to get it. You made it.
I didn't make it because I
You tell them cash. What the rabbi tell you is cash it on the bank. Cash it and pay. That's what you say. Cash it.
No, don't cash it. No, make a
You
cheshbon.
don't have a cash. What you pay is Bitcoin. What you gonna pay?
No, you made $100.
No, I'm talking about. Let's say the value is $100.
Okay.
The profit value is $100, but you don't catch it. What you gonna pay with Bitcoin? I give you a different example. I'm in business. This year was the craziest year of the retail business. Why? Year before, we were short of inventory. This year, there was late on delivery. The merchandise and not come at the end of the year. Many retailers, many wholesalers, that's stuck with inventory.
Okay.
Can you cash the inventory? Can you donate inventory?
No.
What do you do then?
So it means you have a loss. You have a loss. For this year, you have a loss.
In the business, they don't call it a loss.
No.
Inventory, it's profit.
No profit because it's worth less.
Not necessarily it's worth less. It's worth the value. Until you sell it, that's when the value is come.
Okay.
In the meantime, they count your value based on your cost. When you sell it, they count it based on your retail. But at least when you have money, you
Okay, so you're saying you're going to keep the stock, the
you don't
merchandise,
have choice. End of the year, I have inventory, I don't have cash. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna
sell it. So you're gonna give Maaser according to what you sell at the end of the year. So you're gonna see if you made exactly.
The inventory is not counted all as a profit.
When you're gonna sell it, you're gonna give Maaser on what you sold.
If the inventory doesn't count as a profit, based on that, I don't know, because this is much more cash.
On the Bitcoin, Bitcoin, you can take something, no?
Mama?
On Bitcoin, you can have something. Let's say you lock 5 years, you after 2 years you want.
Let me tell you, Rabbi, let me tell you something. Bitcoin, exchange, it's the same thing. As long as you didn't pull out the money,
Okay.
it's not yours, it's up in the air.
Okay.
Borei Olam see, yes, the beginning of the year to the end of the year, if you was up or down, close to the end of the year, then based on this number you need to do. But suddenly a minute after, it can change. And sometimes it's play against you, so you don't want to pull out the money because you want to have a correction in any way, neither up or down. But as long as you didn't pull out the money, you didn't gain or you didn't lose, because it's not going to be fair to the opposite. If, let's say, I lose, but I know it's going to be changed and to do the correction, and I'm going to make money, so why to put it as a deduction?
Yes, so
It's
that's
not
why
1 minute, so both
that's why
sides-
you counted year per year. Right now, virtually, you don't have money. Virtually, you made
You don't do
$100.
anything. So, my opinion, I want to stick to the halakha at the end of the day, but in my opinion, you don't hold anything, neither losses or gain. So you didn't make anything or you didn't pay off.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, the crypto coin is worth something. It's worth.
Yeah.
So you know if you make this year, right now, you're gonna roll it 5 years. You're gonna roll 5 years. It's gonna go up, down, up, down. But your cheshbon is year per year. So now you give 100. Now in second year, maybe it's gonna go up or go down. You're gonna make a new cheshbon because how much you invested? $100, $90. Because you made 100, you gave $10 Maaser. You have 90 that you're rolling. This 90 can become 9,000. So 9,000 is going to be new cheshbon, year per year. אפילו שלא הוצאת.
Okay, I get it. Now let me ask you another question.
Because you could sell if you want. Maybe you're not going to make money, but
You cannot sell.
You
If you do the stake, the question that he has, it's luck. You cannot even touch it.
There is certain stuff that you
they don't let you to take it out.
You cannot take it out.
Even if you would be
You're
out.
getting a dollar value. You're getting a coin. So the value of the coin fluctuates. So you don't know.
After 2 years, you need the money. You lost 5. You cannot take nothing?
You cannot take it. That's the whole point. The whole point is you stay. You keep your coins in because you want to reduce selling pressure. So by staking it, you're saying, okay, you're giving me interest. But you're not giving me interest in dollars. You're giving me interest in the value of the coin. So you're accumulating coins. So you only will cash it out when your stake is over.
Yeah, but on that point, you get the coin. So at the end of the year, you know how much the coin was.
Yalla.
That's why we need an app.
Yalla, let's go to mitzvot.
But this is the main question. If people get their money stuck in the investment or in real estate, the profit that they did the year, they invest it again towards the end of the year, middle of the year.
Year
the money
per
is
year.
stuck.
Year per year.
But the money is stuck. What they gonna do with the money that they make profit this year, but it's still stuck?
Okay, if you don't have money, you write in your Maaser, I have to give $10,000, and when you're going to have the money, you're going to give it. But you have to write it that you owe this year $10,000.
The next day after, you can get the losses back to it, washed off.
But it has to be the same year, the same year. The same year.
Next Rosh Hashanah, if you lose $100,000, you can say, oh, I don't want the money anymore.
Yeah.
You make $100,000 in year 2020.
Okay?
You didn't give the Maaser.
No. Year per year. Rabotai, let's finish off with mitzvot. You want to buy a pair of tefillin, מהדרין שבמהדרין. בהמה גסה, the best tefillin, right? Could you pay a mitzvah from your Maaser money? Could you pay a mitzvah from Maaser money? So the rule is, do you have to have tefillin? Yeah. Okay. Do I have to have mu'udar? No. So I'm going to make the difference. כמה עולה תפילין פשוט כשר? $1,000, כן? Now I found the tefillin for $1,500. סופר, מועדר. You are going to use Maaser only $500. $500. $1,000 you have to buy anyways tefillin. Regular. But for the Idu, you're putting mezuzot. You want to buy mezuzot. Regular mezuzah $60, $80, $90. You want to buy mezuzah $150. Make a difference. He told me a regular mezuzah is $90. I buy each mezuzah $150. So you take $60 for Maaser. You can invest in Hidur mitzvah. But you cannot invest in an obligation.
But you can't deduct the expenses for the Maaser.
Yeah, no. You take from the Maaser, you take from this money that you owe to Maaser, you take from this money, and you pay, you have Maaser money. How much I have to give Maaser? $10,000? Now I want to pay tefillin another $500. From the $10,000, I take $500 and I pay Maaser.
Well, you can't take the $1,000 off the section.
No, you cannot take the. No, it's not an expense. It's an obligation. It's not an expense.
Obligation is not, it doesn't.
Obligation does not come inside here. Okay? Let me tell you an interesting halakha. Somebody asked a question. He was going in Israel on a bus. He was going in Israel on a bus every day to work. On the bus, he saw a lot of things not snuim, a lot of things not modest. So he started to take taxi. The rabbis told him, you can pay the difference from the bus to the taxi in Maaser. Bus cost 5 shekel, 5 shekel. The taxi is going to cost them 30 shekel. That's $5 and $25 and $30. $25 you can take Maaser because you makpid lo lirot davarim asurim. You don't want to see something not tzanua. That's called a mitzvah. You can pay it for Maaser. Idur mitzvah. So whatever you ma'ader b'mitzvot, whatever you do idur b'mitzvot, you can use Maaser, but not from the obligation. You have to buy mezuzah, you have to buy tefillin, you have to buy talit, right? So now you for your bar mitzvah of your son, you want to buy miudah. Okay, come on ragil. How much a regular cost? And from this, you put the difference from Maaser. So basically over here, the total of Maaser could be used for aniyim, could be used for mitzvot, hidur mitzvot, okay? And bnei Torah. The Chafetz Chaim, he writes in Ahavat Chesed, the best thing is ben Torah. If you have somebody ben Torah, that he studies Torah the whole day, that's the best, you cannot go wrong. That's the best maaser you can give. Bechanuni nabazot, okay? You know anim, mishpacha, אין להם כסף, the family, don't, okay? The rest is, so now, listen to this halakha. בית הכנסת יש membership, כן? אתה לא חייב להיות member, כן? But, next to בית הכנסת, יש עוד בית כנסת, אין להם membership. I can go there. But I decided to come to this בית הכנסת that has membership. This you can give for Maaser. כל ה-membership מהמעשר.
אתה מהדר במצווה.
Oh, last halakha, two halachot more. You go up to the Torah. Omer Ataz, you go up to the Torah. If you give $100, example, Omer $100 and give $100, מה זה נהיה? זה נדר. You cannot pay it for מעשר. אי אפשר לשלם נדרים ממעשר. You cannot pay נדר with a מעשר. אומר התז, מה צריך לעשות? Before you go up to the Torah, you say, מה שאני אתרום, הכל עם מעשר. Whatever I'm going to give to the Torah, to the Aliyah, going up Torah, should come out for the מעשר. You can give 100% for מעשר. So if you want to give $100, if you thought about it before, you can give him מעשר. כן, לכל מותר, אבל זה, כן, פה זה עלייה לתורה, that you have to give. כולל is okay, but if you want to go up to the Torah, it's like an obligation almost obligation to give, because everybody gives, you want to give, say to yourself, I'm going to give it for מעשר. Last thing.
אפשר להגיד פעם אחת לכל השנה.
כן.
אתה צריך להגיד כל פעם.
פעם אחת.
פעם אחת בתשרי,
Exactly.
כל מה שנתן זה למעשר, זה חזר.
Last thing, can I buy books, study books? Can I buy study books? זוהר, חומש, גמרא, from Maaser, okay? So basically, if you do that, you have to write in the book, Nikna mikaspe Maaser, and everybody has to have access to it, because it has to be public. עכשיו, אם זה בבית שלך, מי יבוא לפה? Okay. So basically, it's better not to buy ספרים מכספי מעשר. לא כספה. Last halakha, which is very interesting, a little bit difficult but interesting. You go to a wedding, and you want to give chatan vekala, you want to give donation. אם אתה לוקח את זה מכספי מעשר, if you pay for מעשר, you have to write on the envelope, ניתן מכספי מעשר. Now, if you want to give half מעשר, half from your pocket, right? Why? זה נקרא שושבינות. מה זה שושבינות? Best man in English. Which means, you go to this guy's son wedding, you give $500, but you know that your son is getting married in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, right? So he's going to come to your wedding. If you give the $500 for Maaser, he doesn't know. He's going to give the Maaser, the money, the present from his pocket. עשית business עם Maaser. You gave Maaser to somebody, so he thought you gave it from your money. He's giving you back $500 from his pocket. So it comes out, עשית $500 על חשבון מעשר. You made it on the account of Maaser. So you have to tell him in the envelope, I gave $500 for Maaser. So he knows if he wants to give you $500, he should give it also for Maaser. You understand?
You still have the $500.
What?
You still have the $500.
Yes, but when he gives it to you back, he should not give it to you back from his pocket, because then it's like you gave Maaser in order to get money. It's like if you invest Maaser money to get money from somebody. You're not allowed to put Maaser into a business.
But when you're getting it back, anyway, that means you're still up. You change Maaser money and you have now regular money.
Maaser money again. Maaser, he is going to give it
So
to
when
you.
he's giving you Maaser money, you can only use that for Maaser?
No, you gave him Maaser because he needed it. Now he gives you Maaser because you needed to pay the wedding. It's okay. You can use it now for yourself. You can use it. Tuition. So normally when you send your kids to school, you have to pay tuition. There's no way around it. They give you a discount, no discount, right? So normally tuition cannot be paid from Maaser, but according to the Bet Yosef, house expenses could be paid from tuition, from your Maaser. So also tuition, Jewish schools could be paid from Maaser. So lechatchila, the rule is like this: if you can pay tuition without touching Maaser, it's better. But if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids and 10,000, 12,000, it's a lot of money. So then you can use Maaser. Same thing. It's good. Granddaughter is like your daughter, right? So if she needs tuition, lechatchila don't pay for Maaser. But if she needs, you could pay for Maaser, according to the Bet Yosef. So the Bet Yosef made a big opening, right? So for people, and what happens if somebody, after all his expenses, has zero what to give Maaser? He has no money, no obligation. אבל אומר הרב קניבסקי זצ"ל, הרב קניבסקי אמר, you still want the ברכה, עשר בשביל שתתעשר. Give $1, $10. יש מעשה, with this I finish. There's a story with the Chafetz Chaim. He went somewhere with his coachman, which was Jewish. And the coachman, כל הדרך התלונן, the whole way, עד מתי, he's going to die poor, why some people are rich. החפץ חיים אמר לו, מה הבעיה שלך? He said, well, רבנו, how much money do you think I make? He told him, listen, could you give 25 cents? Quarter? Can you give quarter and put it aside? מה ייתן quarter? He says, quarter today, quarter tomorrow, תעשה קופה, make a קופה, one time a quarter, one time $1, מתאסף לחשבון גדול, ותלווה and give הלוואות, give loans to people. הוא עשה את זה, נהיה עשיר מופלג. אפילו עשיר, בלי interest. So אפילו אחד שאין לו, even somebody doesn't have, שיתאמץ לתת $10. Give $1. Why? Just to have the זכות, to have a mitzvah of the mitzvah.
הרבי מלובביץ' היה עומד ביום ראשון בגיל 90, 90 years old, stand and give 100,000 every year.
Yeah. So now you know how to become rich. עשר בשביל שתתעשר. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן.